off a weekend-long celebration of Juneteenth, the day the last enslaved people in the U.S. learned they were free at the end of the Civil War. One of those celebrations was held in Fort Smith tonight, and 5 News reporter Taylor Howard went to the event, spoke with many residents about what the holiday means to them.
With live music, food vendors, and so much more, hundreds of people came together in Fort Smith on Friday night to celebrate Juneteenth. You didn't have to look far to find people who knew what Juneteenth is all about, even the little ones.
The day that we got to be free and all that, and we got to be released.
While many came to enjoy the event,
hot dog by itself.
Others helped feed the big crowd.
I decided to spend my time here because I just like to give back to the community, and this is something that we all can come together on and be a part of.
For one mom, coming out to the celebration was about sharing the experience with her daughter.
I think it's important for her to see everything that's going on in today. I think it's important for her to experience the community that we have with everyone, and I think it's just a great event to be a part of.
And as the night went on, more and more people continued to fill the bakery district.
4th of July, America, we celebrate our freedom, so we're all celebrating freedom here, and it's cool for a lot of people coming together, all colors, all shapes.
It's not a black or a white thing. It's about being human.
I love that.
And spreading love.
To continue Juneteenth celebrations, Freedom Festival in Springdale and the Northwest Arkansas Juneteenth celebration in Fayetteville will be held on Saturday. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Taylor Howard, 5 News.
Thank you, Taylor. Celebrations were happening statewide, including in the state capitol. This year, the celebration in Little Rock hosted a summit for the first time. Panels happening all day honoring Black culture, from finance to music to the arts. The biggest headliner of the day, the Little Rock 9, who shared stories of their resilience during their efforts in desegregating schools.
No matter what problems you might be able to face, that you can overcome them, and I want them primarily to really understand how important education is.
The big events in downtown Little Rock happen tomorrow with a festival and a 5K run. Well, the Bentonville Film Festival marked Juneteenth with a film screening focused on spotlighting maternal health care struggles faced by Black and brown mothers. The documentary is called The Ebony Canal and narrated by Oscar-winning actress Viola Davis, following the journey of 4 expecting mothers to their children's first birthday. Charles Johnson's wife, Kira, suffered a preventable death following childbirth. He's one of the subjects interviewed in the film and spoke with us about why he wanted to share his wife's story.
I sat down with Ime and I heard his vision and his passion for really raising awareness and telling these stories in an artfully beautiful way. I was just, his energy was infectious. I was so empowered by his vision. And so I was just honored to have my work and Kira's story featured in this film, The Ebony Canal.
The Ebony Canal premiered earlier this year at the Sundance Film Festival. It also won an Emmy Award this year. Well, celebrations for Juneteenth are happening all weekend long. To see what's happening near you, text the word Juneteenth to the number right there on your screen, and we will send you back a link to the schedule. Well, new tonight, Fort Smith police say they responded to a shooting that left 1 person injured. They say this happened off South 12th Street near Towson Avenue. Police say they found the victim with non-life-threatening injuries. They say there's no danger to the public, and it appears to be an isolated incident. The investigation is ongoing, and police are asking anyone with any information on this to contact them. Well, the Benton County Sheriff's Office says they're now investigating a murder-suicide after 2 people were found dead inside a parked car near Siloam Springs. Police responded to the car near Highway 68 and 412 on Wednesday and found 2 people dead inside. They have now been identified as 5-year-old Tyler Winston and 26-year-old Keena Napper. Both were from Tulsa. Winston's death was ruled a homicide. Napper's death was ruled a suicide. More information is not being released at this time as the Sheriff's Office is waiting a final report from the State Crime Lab. Well, Arkansas State Police say a minor died in a motorcycle crash yesterday in Benton County. A fatal crash report says the minor was driving southbound on I-49 near the Bella Vista interchange on Thursday morning when their motorcycle left the road and hit a barrier. No other cars were involved in the crash, and the victim has not been identified. Well, Arcoma police have arrested the suspect they say burned down the town's only gas station. Crystal Morse was taken into custody today in Rogers after a 9-day search. She's charged with second-degree arson after they say she set the J. Sachs gas station on fire last Thursday. Police say Morse worked at a gas station owned by the same owners in Fort Smith previously. She is awaiting extradition back to Oklahoma right now in the Benton County Jail. Well, the Arkansas Legislative Council is finishing up last-minute state budget changes as the fiscal session begins July 1st. Today, they voted to allocate $5 million in reserve funds for the new Food Science and Innovation Center at U of A Fayetteville's Ag School. The new 62,000 square foot facility will expand food science research, and the U of A system's president says it will help address food insecurity projects in the state. The project is also being funded by $30 million in federal money. The project was announced in February. Construction begins this summer. Residents is reeling after an unexpected cut in funding. The director of the Senior Olympics organization says a taxpayer grant won't arrive this year. Tanya Motorsitsky looks into what it could mean right at the start of the fiscal year.
Archery, badminton, bowling, cycling, swimming, track and field, 5K, 10K.
These are just some of the events that brings hundreds of Arkansas seniors together through the Arkansas Senior Olympics. Greg Ebert with the Senior Olympics, and he says that it's growing fast.
When I first started, we had 40 to 50 people playing pickleball. And now, we're over tenfold that.
He says he looks at the Senior Olympics as a health organization to keep seniors active and moving. And since the Senior Olympics are held every 2 years, that means this summer is meant for qualifying.
I've got lots of people that are coming to these events that have already got hotel rooms booked and everything else and expecting to have an event.
But there's one obstacle he did not expect to have.
And now I've been hit with, I'm not getting any money to help me.
That's a lot of money to raise in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There seems to be a number of senior programs that have been targeted for these after the fact cuts. And I can't figure out exactly why.
That's Representative Ashley Hudson. She says she's been trying to find answers as to what's going on because funding was already approved, so there shouldn't be any cuts.
But also, it just seems so wrong to be doing this, especially to our seniors, at a time when we had hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for a tax cut.
Ebert showed me the letter he received on June 11th from DHS.
And it was a termination letter saying that they were not going to renew our money.
With the fiscal year starting July 1st, he was relying on the $70,000 sub-grant he receives.
July the 1st is usually when we start our budget, when we need the money, because most of our sports and events that we do are in the, starting at the end of August.
For these athletes, the race is not over, but now they're hoping state leaders step in before they cross the finish line without the funding they accounted for.
That was Tanya Motorsitsky reporting. According to the Arkansas Senior Olympics website, they'll host multiple events for this year's games at the Springdale Rec Center, including shuffleboard, badminton, and cornhole. Well, a heads up in Alma, the water department began a water main flushing program that will affect most of its customers. The maintenance could last about 3 days from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. every night. The city says the flushing will help the department continue providing high-quality product, but the work will temporarily impact the water quality and the level of service for some customers. So if you notice water discoloration, the city says run the water for several minutes until it clears.